Hey guys, how's it going everybody? This is StormPow, and today we are going to be talking about the new Ultra Rarity Vegeta that was introduced in Dragon Ball Legends and how it may not actually be quite as ultra as we were hoping for. We're going to be talking about some other really cool stuff in the Dragon Ball community, like some fan art and things like that. But also, it looks like Louis Vuitton is making Saiyan armor, so stay tuned for that. And then we're also going to be reacting to a new animation that has voices from the Dragon Ball community, including Prince Vegeta and some others. And then lastly, we are going to be kind of recapping on some things that I talked about in the last video, kind of talking about the direction that Vegeta is heading as a character and correcting some things that I said and elaborating, but it's kind of inspired from a Reddit post, so there's a lot to cover there. So let's go ahead and get started. By the way, guys, if you like this format, be sure to let me know. We're still kind of playing around with this, and I've got some different things planned, and I've ordered some equipment that I think will make these types of videos even better, so stay tuned for that. And also be sure to subscribe if you're not already, and if you want to get some awesome Dragon Ball news and other Dragon Ball related content. Lastly, one more thing that I'll ask you to do is turn that like button Super Saiyan blue. It's a really great way to spread my content around, and it doesn't cost you a dime. So apparently, if you want to dress like Vegeta, you can do so for about $2,000. Louis Vuitton recently unveiled some new boots that are definitely inspired by Dragon Ball, specifically Vegeta. These boots are officially described as like a futuristic cowboy look, but it definitely goes without saying, if you've ever seen an episode of Dragon Ball, you're probably thinking about like Saiyan armor boots in these pictures here. Plus, apparently the designer of all this is a pretty open anime and manga fan. Apparently back around 2015, he actually unveiled a design that was inspired by Ghost in the Shell, and he's also had some nods to Final Fantasy as well, officially, in some of his designs. So, you know, while he hasn't specifically been like, yeah, dude, these are Vegeta boots, it definitely is safe to assume that there was some inspiration there. So I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, they come in a lot of different colors. So if we ever wanted to know like what maybe Vegeta and all the other Saiyans could buy back then, I think this is a pretty solid look. Would you wear these? I mean, okay. Like, I know they're $2,000, but let's say that you had $2,000 to spend, or like, let's just say they were like a normal price, you know, like, would you rock these unironically in public? Let me know down in the comments. Also, something to leave down in the comments below, caption this really awesome Dragon Ball artwork that I saw on Twitter. I love the style on here because I literally had to take like a double take, and I was like, wait, is this like an official screenshot? Because the art style was like close to the original, but obviously looking at it again, like with another set of eyes, I was like, okay, this is very clearly some sort of fan art. But honestly, just like the level of detail and perfectionism that went into this blew my mind. But also, I thought it might be fun to try to caption this because it's like the way that they're like making eye contact. Like, I don't know, I tried to think of something funny to quote retweet with that, but I'm not funny enough, so I need your guys' help. Leave me a comment down below, caption those pictures, you know? Like, I don't know, the best I could come up with was like, this is the last time that I'm gonna ask, do you have games on your phone? Like, that was all I got, and it's not even that good, and it definitely wouldn't translate well in a tweet, so I didn't do it. But like I said, I need your help. Let me know. This is definitely not like news, but I thought it might be cool to share. A YouTuber, Choctopus, got a Gotenks tattoo, which is really cool, by the way. Just, I love the artwork that this guy did. It absolutely kicked ass. Choctopus and I did an interview a while back, so if you want to go listen to that, go check that out. But he does a lot of really awesome gaming content, so go check him out, if nothing else. But he had a really funny tweet with this too, where, and it's a good point, you know, because I know when he posted the tweet, a lot of people were giving him crap, like, you know, talking about how it's like cringe or things like that, which first of all, I'm gonna go off on my own little tangent here. Look, never ever tell somebody that a tattoo is cringe, all right? I don't care, because if you've never gotten a tattoo, then you may not know this. And if you have gotten a tattoo, I'm pretty confident that you're gonna agree with me. There's a lot of anxiety that goes with getting a tattoo, right? You know, you're getting something literally burned into your flesh like forever, and you've already, you know, put in a lot of thought into whether or not you actually want to go through with that, I'm sure. And there's always that moment afterward where you're like looking at it, and part of you is like, man, this is so cool, but then the other part of you is like, what have I done? I just made a terrible mistake. I'm gonna regret this. So don't tell people that. And second of all, this isn't even cringe. Like, tattoos do not have to have like some super deep meaning. They don't have to be your great grandson's birthday or whatever, or your mom's name or anything like that. If you want to get a cool anime character's face with his tongue sticking out, then, and you think that it looks cool, then do it, dude. Put it on your forehead. I don't care. As long as a tattoo is not offensive, don't give anybody crap for it. Anyway, that tangent went on a lot longer than I wanted to go on, but I like that he made light of the situation, you know, people kind of giving him crap for the tattoo because, yeah, you know, he said that when he gets older, it's gonna still be accurate, which I think is a good kind of way. It's true, though. It's true. It will be. But also, yeah, F the haters, man. So I do want to talk about the new Ultra Rarity Vegeta in Dragon Ball Legends because there's been a lot of discussion about it. We talked about it in the last video, actually, but there's been a little bit more discussion about how the animations are apparently reused pretty heavily from, and actually, no, I take that back. Not pretty heavily, like pretty much copy and paste from the Ultra Rare Goku that was released a little while back. So I have a couple of things to say about that because admittedly, I would have never noticed this, right? And I feel like I'm not alone in that. I feel like a lot of people, you know, are up in arms about it, and kind of understandably so, you know, and I'll get to the fact that it's free and all that as well. But I wouldn't have noticed it were it not for Twitter, right? You know, I just don't have an eye for those types of things. You know, I haven't used Ultra Rare Goku enough to like know his animations by heart like that. So admittedly, you know, it's not that big of a deal because I would have never noticed had people not pointed it out on Twitter, which is fair. And like I said, it is free. So you kind of want to tread lightly on the whole like complaining about it because it's free. However, I've seen some very interesting takes on it, and I want to kind of address those. So Rhymestyle, he talked about it in a video as well, but he was tweeting talking about how they're supposed to be unique and take longer to develop. If all Ultras use their own stock, clash, key, and charge animation, then the only main difference is the card art and intro. He figured that each Ultra would be fully unique as they said they would be. And he says if every Ultra follows the same path, then essentially it'll just be animated cards plus an intro, and that's an excuse to slap a rarer label on it, which, you know, of course we still don't know if those are going to be summonable or not. But yeah, I totally agree. They've not ruled out the possibility of those units becoming summonable later in the future. You know, they said that right now they're going to keep them free, but they're not going to make them summonable just yet. But they definitely have not said that they're never going to do that. And so, yeah, I mean, these units are cool. They have the extra Ultra ability, and like they tend to be pretty powerful, like this one has been. I know a lot of videos are showing it at like high stars and you know, maxed out, and it's apparently a freaking beast. So while it is free right now, and you know, we aren't going to complain about it too much on this particular one, basically, you know, I think the main point that people are trying to get across is that we want to let the developers know that we do notice that, and they can't slip that past us later on down the line, say they do make Ultras summonable later on, and you know, that's one less thing that's hype about it. And this happened like less than 24 hours after it was revealed. People noticed. So I think surely the developers are aware that, hey, we didn't sneak that past them as well as we thought. And I think genuinely that, you know, making a spectacle of it kind of like this has prevented stuff like that. So that way, when it does hit the inevitable point that Ultras become summonable and we're, you know, shelling out hard-earned crystals to get them, that we're going to be getting a more quality product. So that's where I stand on it. All right, so let's take a look at this Prince Vegeta video, all right? And I'll have this link down below so you guys can watch the entire thing. But this is 00 Saiyan from Vegeta with love. Okay. Dude, can you imagine being on the frickin'... Oh, this is giving me, like, Mass Effect vibes. Like, oh, yeah, this is definitely giving me some Mass Effect vibes, but in, like, the best way. Oh.
Thank you, Mr.
Vegeta. Prince Vegeta. I had heard of several waifus kidnapped and exploited by a shady criminal.
We don't want no waifus getting kidnapped.
If I castrated that guy right now.
You're an agent. You won't
That's
take
right.
away my
Vegeta
women
is saving the waifus.
Bitch, the only
He's the
pussy
real
you
hero.
deserve is in your hands.
All right, so so I've cut out a little bit. It is just a smidge NSFW, so I've cut out little pieces of it, but I will have the full version linked down below. And apparently there's a uncensored version on their Patreon, so go support them and check that out. But yeah, that was pretty cool. A cool concept. Like I said, gave me Mass Effect vibes, but in like a really cool way. And now, because I've always said that I'm like super interested in the backstory of like Frieza and the Saiyan Armada, and now I'm like wondering, did they have these bomb-ass parties or something like that way back, you know, like on party spaceships and stuff, Vegeta and everybody, like after a big conquest? Like That'd be dope as hell, okay? And then last thing. So in the last video, I talked a little bit about how I feel like Vegeta is like kind of going rogue, and he's giving me like Majin Vegeta vibes with some of his power hungriness and how he's getting like really ruthless. And, you know, I think some people took it the wrong way possibly, and that's okay. But there is a post that I found on Reddit that I feel like kind of explains my thoughts in a different way and in a better way. So I want to kind of read that and add that. So this is on our Dragon Ball, and this is from user Escavalian. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But we're referring again to the most recent chapter in the Dragon Ball Super manga, chapter 73, at the end where Vegeta, you know, is talking about how he's going to make the Cerealian race where granola is from extinct. This user says the more logical Vegeta that we've known would have explained things differently to granola and not tried to provoke granola, especially with the Saiyan guilt he had been carrying around. Beerus smacked him up and had absolutely no sympathy about calling for Planet Vegeta's destruction, explaining that attitude is the reason for Beerus's powers. Embracing destruction instead of explaining or feeling bad. If Vegeta is echoing Beerus by embracing the idea of the Saiyans causing the destruction of the Cerealians instead of feeling bad for it, then could he actually reach a new level of power by following Beerus's footsteps? And there's still more to the post that I'm going to read, but I think that, yeah, like that's very true. And I've said before in streams that I kind of see Goku and Vegeta following the path of becoming like the next Beerus and Whis in a way, you know, or kind of their apprentices respectively, and kind of getting their own powers, which I think is cool. You know, I think that it would be really cool to see Vegeta and the other characters in Dragon Ball all following their own separate paths instead of Goku unlocking a transformation and then everybody else gets it shortly thereafter. But anyway, he elaborates and says, in a way, the path is entirely about being Sundere. Beerus did not want Vegeta knowing about the planet being destroyed before to avoid the headache of the conversation, but when training him, he showed him what being a destroyer is all about. They're good guys on the inside, but for their powers to be at maximum, they have to be unapologetic and mercilessly cold. I won't get my hopes up for a win, but I at least hope that this is the reason he provoked Granola to reach the power of destruction just like Beerus. And I totally could see this being the case, because Vegeta right now in the manga is really just trying to kind of one-up Kakarot. Obviously, you know, he has his own intentions of, you know, like not letting Granola kill them and things like that, but kind of Vegeta's main motive seems to be like, I think Vegeta is getting tired of being the second best right now, and so they are kind of following their own paths right now. I think Vegeta has realized that he can no longer just sit back and follow in Goku's footsteps, and that he has to go his own way. And in this case, he thinks that this path is going to be better for him than had he just followed in Goku's footsteps and maybe tried to learn Ultra Instinct. I think he is kind of becoming a more merciless destroyer. And I think that kind of the analogy, or rather the comparison between a god of destruction and a classic old school Saiyan is actually a really organic comparison. I mean, that's literally what they did, was destroy and destroy and destroy. And as Vegeta has become a more softer character with a little bit more of a heart, it's natural that he would begin to feel some remorse for what he's done. But I think the fact that he does not care at all about finally extincting the Cerealians, you know, and I think it shows him kind of going back to his roots of destruction, but not in like a toxic way or like a villainous way necessarily, but we'll see. That is going to be it for this video though. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a nice day, and we'll see you next time.